low quality fans of a hockey team. The Boston Bruins, to be specific. Most of you, I think. God, you're still hanging on, right? Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. This is not fine. This is bad. This is gross. This is really bad. The game wasn't even, like, entertaining. I mean, it was from a Kings standpoint. That's not true. There were actually several moments of it that were very entertaining. I'm just being bitter. I'm just being a whiny little baby. That's okay. That's okay. Look, I need to say something as we get started. Like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. No, I need to say something before we talk about anything else. Which, I don't condone bullying, right? Like, bullies are losers. They're just these awful, pathetic turds of society. They're losers. They like to pretend that they're like more than they are. But at the end of the day, you ever see someone bullying someone else, whether it's been social media or in person, work, whatever it is, anyone is ever purposefully bullying someone else, they're a fucking loser. An absolute drain on society. Just what an unbelievable dredge of a person. That being said, we should bully these refs. Like, free pass, absolutely. Bully them. Bully them. They're nerds. Not in the sense of, like, you get it. No, I'm not going to backtrack this anymore. Fuck these guys. What the hell was that? We have had... Actually, have we? You tell me, how many moments through 72 games in this season, how many positive moments can you pull right off the top of your head about this season? Just moments where you're like, that was really great. Because I bet it isn't many. And we got robbed of a goalie fight. A moment that whether Swayman won or lost, for some of you, you probably weren't even rooting for him to win, based on some of the comments I see. Win or lose, a goalie fight? Yes. Let's go. And they're pulling the gear off, the helmet comes off, and I'm getting giddy. I'm like, We love a goalie fight. We love a goalie fight. We never get them anymore. We love them. And this was done the right way. No one was surprised. Not that there's a wrong way, but no one was surprised. Swayman comes up to the middle of the ice. Doesn't cross that red line because then it's like flag in the air, take him to the box. No. Taps the stick, raises it, ushers over like, come on, you just shoved my boy down there. Let's see it. And Kemper goes, obliged, brother, and starts shedding his gear and heads to center ice. And these absolute turds, these bully magnets are what they should be, jump in between them. They don't allow the fight. What happened to this being entertainment? Like, sometimes, I know it's about the money. I know it's always about the money and the product and everything like that. But when these leagues were formed, it was about the entertainment. At least it's what it used to be, I think. God, I think. That would have been... I mean, God forbid the NHL have some clip from tonight. Hockey night. Well, I guess not like Hockey Night in Canada, but still, some clip from tonight that circulates every corner of social media. This would be the biggest replay of hockey this year. God forbid the NHL have some sort of clip that circulates through social media to every corner of it. When's the last time a hockey clip went truly viral? Not viral in a sense of I saw it and you saw it, right? We watch hockey things. No, when you have people in your life being like, did you see this? And it's somebody who never watches hockey. I can think of the last time this happened. I'm not going to mention it because it was a horrible tragedy, but I can think of it. And it certainly wasn't something that made the NHL feel better about itself. This feels like it would have been that clip. We never get goalie fights. Ever. Bully them. Bully them. It's the only time I'll condone it. Or Brooks Orpik, obviously. Yeah. Sean Avery, too. Sean Avery can handle it, though. Oh, and Matt Cook, obviously. I can't believe I almost forgot Matt Cook. Those are your guys, okay? The four refs tonight, Matt Cook, Brooks Orpik, and Sean Avery. Those are who you can bully. Deemed by me. Let's talk about hockey, I guess. I don't even know if there's a skip before this. It is midnight on a work night. I'm exhausted. West Coast swings. So I don't know if one got there. I hope one did. I haven't recorded it yet. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. The Kings. This is the second meeting of the year against them. We beat them 2-1 in October, which feels like a lifetime ago, and basically was. Defensively, they're excellent. It's what we expected. Offensively, they're about as bad as I thought they would be, which is funny to say after this game. They have the 8th best penalty kill, the 2nd best goals allowed average. They have the 28th ranked power play and the 21st ranked scoring ability. 21st in goals per game. I don't know. It's late. These games are really important for the Kings. They genuinely are. They're not super important to the Bruins, obviously. But it also, we've lost 6 in a row. You guys do know that the playoffs aren't happening, right? I still get some of these comments that are like, we just need to do this. We need to win out and hope that several teams in front of us fall off the pace that they're on. Basically all of them. It's, I mean, that's it. That's the season. It's okay. It's okay. This happens sometimes. No, these games are important to the Kings because this should be easy points for them, right? I mean, come on. We can expect that they would prefer to have home ice advantage over Edmonton, right? We assume they want that. They currently trail Edmonton by 2 points, not anymore, but they have 2 games in hand on them. They won't get caught by anyone else behind them in their division, so they're locked into, at worst, this 3rd slot in the Pacific, but I'm sure they'd rather have the home ice against Edmonton in the first round because Edmonton keeps beating them, so any advantage you can get, you'll take it. What's really fun about this season, or a fun thing for me to follow, is watching Darcy Kuemper be so dang good. So dang good. Now, I've been critical of this goaltender in the past. I've been critical of plenty that have been good. Like, that's just my style, I guess. But they were involved in a trade in the offseason that saw Pierre-Luc Dubois go one way, and then they got Darcy Kuemper back. And it was basically like here's my really big salary problem for your kind of big salary problem, right? Pierre-Luc Dubois has a lot longer on his contract and makes more, but it's for more or less, it was like my problem for your problem. And in an extremely rare and unexpected outcome, it's worked out for both teams. Pierre-Luc Dubois has been very good, maybe not earning his entire paycheck, but been very good for Washington, and Washington's certainly happy to have him based on how their season's going and the points he's racking up. And Kuemper has a .919 save percentage and has an excellent record and has been really good. That's awesome. That's really great to see. I love watching players, especially players that I've like given up on. I don't think they're good, blah, blah, blah. And then they just have a season where everything clicks and they're coming back to their own and they're effective again. And I like to think about the person, just being in such a better place. It's hard mentally to not be performing well on a national stage. And for both these guys, just good work by these teams. Capitals and Kings, good job by both of you. I'm happy for that trade because both these players have turned back into, solid contributors. Really good ones, honestly. The lines for the Bruins are weird because this is the way they're listed by the Bruins, but it's not the way we started the game. It was Geeky, Middlestat, Pasta, Huznadinov, Zacha, Lacelle, Kepke, Lindholm, Lettieri, Lauko, Beecher, Brown, Zadorov, Yogi Haru, Lorai, Peak, Callahan, Wotherspoon. But when the game started, I'm pretty sure it's Huznadinov, Middlestat, Pasternak, Geeky, Zacha, Lysell. So I don't know. I don't know how the bottom 6 remain the same, but there was a lot of different shifts that saw that left side get swapped around, though. So it was kind of difficult to really keep track. But I'm fairly positive that this game started Huznadinov, Middlestat, Pasternak as your top line, and that lasted for a while. So a little weird that they listed it in a different way. But Swayman's going to get the start. A win puts Swayman at 100 wins. He would be the 10th Bruins goaltender to do that. I think this is his 4th attempt at this. He still doesn't have 100 wins. Spoiler alert. Hampus still out. McAvoy still out. Kostelic still out. And this game is going to start pretty dang good. It is. It's going to start pretty good, dang good. It's an absolute breakdown by the Kings defensively, which you just never see. It's coffee. It's midnight. It happens. We are 19 seconds in, and Elias Lindholm tried to dump the puck into the offensive zone, but it's knocked down and lands right in front of the blue line, but in the offensive zone. Lettieri is going to continue his way down the left wall. Lindholm's going to sprint to the front of the net because Koepke's coming right behind him. He's going to collect. He's also going to follow Lettieri down that left wall. All three Kings defenders who are in the zone all moved to that left wall. Elias Lindholm stood in front of Kemper like, sure, Koepke goes great. Swings it to Lindholm, who quick pump fake. Kemper goes down, goes around him, dunks it. It's 1-0. Be honest. How many of you got a little concerned we were going to win? Some of you are outright rooting for these losses, which I'm not blaming you. I understand where some, it's just you can't do it, and others are like, I want that draft pick. I'm not going to blame anyone for anything here. Some of you probably got a little nervous, but then you remembered, this is the Boston Bruins. This is the Boston Bruins. 2:43 in, and Yogi Haru, brother, what is this? Kempe is skating into the center of the neutral zone, over the logo. Kings are in full flight, and Yogi Haru, now again, these guys are adjusting to a new defensive system, all that, those excuses. Yogi Haru is way too close to the center of the ice, in our zone. And so when Kempe passes to Kopitar on the far side, he just walks Yogi Haru, goes right by him and has a breakaway on Swayman, pump fake, goes around him, dunks it. It's 1-1. Now, I know, I'm just going to handle this now. I know I caught some flack last video for criticizing Yogi Haru. Several people pointed out several different things, most of them defending Yogi Haru. And there were two main arguments that I saw, and I kind of want to answer these because, I don't know, I just want to. Most of the arguments I saw were along the lines of, you're criticizing Yogi Haru, but he looks better than Peak or Lohrei. One of those two players usually got brought in. So, as I mentioned in the last video, because I brought this up with Lohrei, yes, I know Lohrei makes similar mistakes. I don't think he gets absolutely walked as often as Yogi Haru does, but I know that Lohrei makes a bunch of defensive mistakes. Lohrei has also flashed a far higher ceiling offensively than Yogi Haru has. And I don't mean Yogi Haru in the past 3 weeks. I mean in the multiple years I've watched him in the NHL. Just not a Yogi Haru guy. That's just what it is. So yeah, no, I've also criticized Lohrei for getting beat defensively. I just think Lohrei has a higher ceiling. I mentioned that last video though. Peak, on the other hand, sure. Peak in my mind is at very best a sixth defenseman. At best. So, if your argument is, well, Yogi Haru looks better than Peak, that's not going to land super well on me because I'll go, yeah, sure. I mean, that's kind of damning by faint praise. I just don't think Yogi Haru has been very good. And this is an easy time for me to say it because if you watch this game, nobody was really without criticism, but holy shit, Yogi Haru had an awful, awful game. So did Mason Lohrei, though. Right? See how that works. So, it's not, when I criticize certain players and stuff, it's not like I'm just ignoring other players. It's, if I talked about every single player after every single game, this video would be 82 minutes long every time. But yeah, no, not a Yogi Haru guy. He frequently does things that I'm not a fan. I hope they don't re-sign him. Like, if he gets re-signed as a 7th D, fine. Yes, like, capable 7th D. But that right side needs another top 4 defenseman badly with the departure of Carlo, and Yogi Haru is not that, in my opinion. Again, it's just my opinion. None of this is... I'm not the end-all, be-all on this stuff. Am I? If I am, that's concerning for many of us. 10 minutes left of the period. Zadorov, he pinches, and it doesn't go well. I want to say one thing about the defense, because I'm just going to keep stopping this video. Zadorov has been our best defenseman the past, week and a half. I can't figure out, it's crazy, because I also can't figure out if that's, because he actually looks better, which he does, or just because everyone around him looks so bad. So I don't know. It's a 2-on-1 the other way. Yogi Haru plays this very well, stays in the passing lane. So Byfield is basically left to shoot. And Byfield actually makes that summation of the situation and shoots, and it gets saved. I point this out because how many 2-on-1s where the defenseman stays in the passing lane do we just still try to force the pass? I saw that one. Yeah, Byfield shot it. Nice. Yeah! Because he should. Because the passing lane's not there. You have a scoring chance. Shoot. It's just little stuff that you forget that your team doesn't do because they hate you. 28 seconds left of the period. It's 1-1. This is inexplicable. The Bruins have a bad line change in the last period, the last minute of a period for the, 846th time this season, give or take. Kings work the puck in easily because it's a bad line change. They get it down low to Deneau, who's behind the net. Peak and Lohrei and Lindholm are right in front of Swayman. Sort of geeky there too, but he was coming into the situation. Deneau pokes his head around the right side of the net and just flings his puck through 3.5 players, we'll call it, directly to Foegele, who has a wide open glove side. It's 2-1. I mean, if I'm Swayman, who had an awful second half of this game, don't get me wrong. If I'm Swayman, I'm sitting there like, there are 4 of you. I would look up. By the time I looked up, there are 4 Bruins players, 1 King, and the King just scored a goal. I don't know how this guy keeps his cool. I'd be so pissed, man. I'd be so pissed. Second period starts, 2:07 in, right after a weird play that gets broken up. Lysell along that left wall, skating up towards the blue line. He tries to spin and fire it down. It gets blocked, but it still lands inside the zone. It looks like it's going to be easily cleared out by the Kings, but Lysell jumps right back in, pokes at it. It allows the puck to skitter across the blue line up to Zacha, who has Geekie in front of, and this is poor Kemper for the second time this game, in front of Kemper all alone, because when that initial block of the clearance down the boards happened and Lysell was pushed out of the zone, it looked like all the Kings players went, oh good, we're on the attack, and started moving up. Well, Zacha passes to Geekie. Geekie quickly puts it on his forehand, sends his glove side. It's 2-2. And I bet a lot of you got nervous again. We might win this game. No, this is the Boston Bruins. 11:14 left. A tough icing call against the Bruins. Brick was irate, and I agree with him. Face-off win by the Kings in the left circle. Shot from the left point. Kicked out by Swayman directly to the right circle. It's not the right rebound control for this, because Doughty just gets to walk in, he has no one in front of him, and he unloads. Bardowski, blocker side, just an absolute rocket. And it's 3-2 midway through the second. 10:46 left. Mikey Anderson for tripping will go to the power play. Honestly, it's a great power play. It's just a better kill by Kemper. Made a few big saves in this one. 5:47 left. The play is whistled dead as Kemper yanks Kuznetsov's helmet off of his body after Kuznetsov was hit into Kemper. Very dumb. Lots of jawing after the fact. Swayman skates to the red line. Ushers over, we already talked about this, but ushers over Kemper. Kemper comes to join him. The refs are little bitches. They're just little bitches. They deserve to be bullied. They deserve to be bullied, but there's 7 people on the planet that deserve to be bullied, and that's 4 of them right there. Bully them. It's probably more than 7, but we're not going to get into all the names. So I hate the refs is basically the way I feel about that. Somehow out of this, so Kemper gets 2 penalties. He left the crease, and he pulled the helmet off Kuznetsov. Swayman gets a penalty for leaving the crease. Somehow Kuznetsov gets a penalty for getting hit into Kemper. I'm not really sure what, I don't really get it. Doesn't matter. So it's 4v4, nothing happens on it. 2:22 left shortly after Lysell has a chance for the slot and opts to pass. Dude's been shoot first ever since he came up a game ago, and now he decides to pass. The pass gets broken up. It's just a bummer. The Kings, from their own zone, are going to fling this all the way down to our side because they have Kempe winning the race 2 behind our net. So the icing is waved off. He collects. He goes behind the net. He whips it through the defense to Kuzmenko in the right circle, who slams this past Swayman 4-2. And again, this is one of those plays like, where's the defense? Where is it? And you want Swayman to make the save? Absolutely. But like, where is the defense? It's so bad. So third period. The Bruins are down by 2 goals. I almost feel like I shouldn't even explain this period. Because the Bruins are down by 2 goals. The Bruins would take 1 shot this period. In your best case scenario, you lose that game by 1 goal. That's the best case scenario based on the effort the Bruins gave in the third period. This is bad. It's bad. 4:35 in. This is poor back checking. Laferriere tries to get a pass across the neutral zone to Fiala. Lohrei gets a piece of it to slow it down, but it still gets to Fiala. Doesn't matter. The 3 forwards that were back checking all slow down. They stop skating. Lohrei commits to Fiala, which isn't the worst case, but so does Peak, who then fills in behind Lohrei on that side, leaving, much like the Kopitar goal early, it leaves Byfield on that far side completely open. Quick pass to him. He gets a breakaway out of it, and he ends up beating Swayman from distance. Not from distance, from the slot, but he beats him cleanly blocker side, and it is 5-2. We are going to go on the penalty kill. We kill it, and then there's a couple more goals. I mean, they're just hemming it, and Jeannot gets a tip through Lohrai's body somehow. It's posted in, nutty. And then with 3:57 left, there's multiple chances to clear a puck out, just over and over and over again, and then they just managed to get the puck to Hellenius on the left circle, and he's going to beat Swayman low. Swayman acts like he got interfered with. He didn't get interfered with. This was just a man holding on to his pride at this point. And it's 7-2. I'm sorry I don't break those down more specifically, but the Bruins are down by 2 goals to start that period, and they got 1 shot on net. I mean, it's just, there's your breakdown of the period. Fuck me, man. This is so bad. Right. Game notes. These refs were the worst. Yeah. Yep. That's basically the game note. No, there's 2 other game notes. One, Geeky has 25 goals this season. I mean, just genuinely glad for him. And I'm glad we kept him. I really thought that he could have had a haul coming back if we sold on him, but he is a middle 6 guy in my book that belongs on a good team. So, and again, even at my most critical, I've said that Geeky belongs on a good team. Just like he's a great third liner. I'm just not so high on him in the top 6. He's starting to 25 goals, regardless of who's on the line with you. I mean, maybe he's a second liner, right? Like I've got to start changing my tune a little bit somewhere in here. I'm really excited for him. I'm genuinely terrified about what deal he gets from Sweeney, because I am fine with committing to him for a few years. I'm fine with giving him fair money, but I'm not fine for giving him a contract worthy of a 30-goal scoring forward, because the odds of Geeky doing this again isn't amazing. And if Geeky is on a line with Pasternak, then we haven't really fixed our forward group all that well, right? Like if Geeky's still playing a top line role, then it probably means that our forwards are still pretty dire, you know? Either way, I don't want to turn this into negative, but this is just an excellent season for him, and he has a real shot at 30. He's going to need some luck over these next 10 games, but he has a real shot at 30. That's really impressive. The last game note I thought was interesting. Andrew sent me a text. Andrew on the Short Shift Pod. Check it out. Spotify, anywhere you get podcasts. He kind of summarized this game. He basically said, I'm paraphrasing, but it was a poor effort, but it feels like a team that watched its coach not go to bat for them yesterday with that offsides, no challenge bit and everything. And they just kind of went, okay, you've given up on the season, so will we. And I thought it was interesting because I don't believe the players make a conscious decision to not try during the game. I don't think that's in most of their blood. But there is a certain energy level and a certain ability to get yourself up to that elite level they have to be at the NHL. Like you have to be an elite athlete at this level to compete. And that takes a certain amount of mental fortitude. And if you don't have it and you're just basing it off of, well, this is like, I'm a great player, I can play. You still need that focus and that level of intensity that, I mean, you just can't fake, really. And I don't know, maybe they really have just kind of tuned out on Sacco now. And some of you might sit there and be like, oh, they're going to tune out on another coach. And like, I understand the statement, but this was the first game I saw Sacco have any sort of real heart. He changed the lineups. He was screaming at the refs about the icing call. And I don't know, I finally saw him react. And it's just a weird... It's a weird moment, and I think it's a good point by Andrew that, like, how much does this team even give a shit about the guy behind the bench at this point? You know? Interesting thing to keep tabs on. I'm just going to keep my eye on it. I'm not saying that any of that is all that correct, but definitely something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Either way, these losses they get us closer to a higher pick. We play Anaheim next, and if we lose to Anaheim, we fall behind them in the standings. Some of you may root for that. Some of you may not. It's time to start looking at the draft, though. It really is. I got to get to work on that, I guess. Go Bees. Go Bees! And of course, here at the end of the video, I love to give some shout outs to the fantastic high quality inspectors who help support the channel and keep this running. I super appreciate every single one of you, from the role player tier, the top line tier, and of course the all-star tier. We are going to do our shout outs for this top line tier. Thank you so much to Sean Kreider, Michael Kamara, Chris and Erica, Kevin Timperley, Quackin' Platypus, JM, Smoke Channels, Shaggy, Adam Ella, Albert Waldron, Negev79, Lola Cattingsworth, EKM Productions, Moonlighter TV, Big Bad Bruin, The Bugman, Jeff with a G, Tommy Braga, Roland22, GD Viperworks, Len Kreutz, Brock Nope, Han Slobo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Brett Arney, Pincent, and Nick Zatrullo. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. Your top line material. But now we got to move on to our all-star tier members, the absolute legends. We have Jacob Pratt, Jake Brower, Dampen, JG's 12, Mark S., Ann Hustis, Tim R., Lorenzo Wood, Penny Pasta, Levi Catalani, Boston Stringler, Bagel, Nightmare Eco, John Kirk, Joel, Stealthy Potato, Heil E. Coyote, Darren Woodbury, Abraxion, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adrian Winter, Tukton D. Tashi, Bruin Smash, D.A. Kingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Dutes42, and Jeremy. Thank you all for all of the support and love that you are all giving. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, Go Bees!